now as she goes on into her young adulthood? Is she doing the same thing as you, teaching people as she go, or what?
So Nia actually is in the health field. She just graduated with her master's in May. She told me in her adolescent years, "Hey mom," when I asked her, "You thinking about becoming a teacher, Nia?" She told me flat out, "No." Why? She said, "Because your day never seems to end. Your day never seems to end. Your mind is always on. How can you help this kid?" And she would see me grading papers at home. I mean, she would see me. So it wasn't as like I could hide it. I did bring, a bag home full of stuff that I had to check. And no, Nia's in the healthcare field. She's not following in my footsteps. She's not an educator, but she has worked for me. In fact, her first job was my assistant in my learning center, which is named Purposeful Learning Academy. Named it right after her. Her name is Nia Imani. So Nia means purpose. It's a Kwanzaa principle. So I named it right after her.
Okay, that's awesome. But she made an interesting point and say no, because your brain never turns off. With a lot of careers that has a power of purpose connect to it, your brain really doesn't shut off. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week, because you can be in a grocery store and see something, hear something, and most likely you can start work. You're working. You're constantly working. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But if that's your passion, you've been doing it for years. It's just part of your DNA.
It is. It is part of my DNA, and that's why I call it a mission. It's not for me. It's not a job. It's not work.
Yeah,
It's a mission.
that's the
It's
mission.
a mission. So, I wherever I go, I'm working on my mission. It could be at the bank and the mother is struggling with the kid who's having a tantrum. I might just give her a word of advice, right on the spot.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, so it's my mission. It's not a job. I happen to get paid to do what I love, but it's my mission. It's not, I don't perceive it as a job. So when teachers ask me, none of my teacher friends have a private practice. So they think I am a weirdo, I am an oddball. And why do you do this? You don't need to do this. And why do you continue to do this? Do you still do that tutoring thing? And my answer is yes. And that's because it's a mission. It's not a job.
yeah, it's past. And yeah, it's not a job. It's not a traditional job. It's a mission. It's a passion. It's your life work. I ask people all the time, like, how do you want to be remembered? Are you living for your resume? Are you living for your eulogy? Are you living for your last name? Are you just living for just what it is? And some people, when you pose that question, they really got to think about that. It's like everything that you're doing right now should be not about you. It's you, but it should be not about you. You should create work that's going to outlive you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh
Absolutely.
man, it's like I remember grandmama when your daughter have a kid. She like this was grandmama and this is great granddad. They all was in line of helping one another. This is our bloodline. And
Right.
today I feel that a lot of people, old and young, are in their 40s and 50s. They're so stressed out at work. There's no mission. There's no passion. It's just a paycheck. And when they get off, they straight to the happy hour. Hey, it's Wednesday. We're gonna get some wine. And I mean, I understand it, but you have to look at what you do as something that you can, put a rope back down and pull people up who's needing it. You can't just say, hey, I make 6, 7 figures doing this. I'm good. It's a lot of people that can use your expertise, your passion, and your knowledge and skill set that can really help reshape them,
Right.
or rebuild them. And I think a lot of people have gotten away from that. I'm glad to hear. It's refreshing to hear and see somebody's like, hey, I've been doing this since 15 years old. So if your daughter was unruly in the bank, I'm like, hey, let me tell you something. Now, just to say that's a situation you may have to give a word of advice. Do you feel like the mother is more open to your advice, or they feel like, they toot their nose up and tell you to mind your business or whatever, whatever, or just a combination of both?
I start with a smile. You communicate non-verbally first. Like if the kid is having the meltdown,
Yeah,
let's say, and this isn't something I'm going out of my way to do. When I see a parent in distress, namely a mom who just needs to just count to 10 or count
yeah.
from 10
Woosah.
to 1 backwards, when I see this, I take it as a moment just to, first smile non-verbally and then say, quietly, because nobody wants to be embarrassed, the word of advice that I offer. What I notice with a lot of moms is they'll go somewhere, the bank, the supermarket, wherever they're going. Let's say the bank, and they have to sit for a minute to talk to, one of the, not the teller, but someone that has a desk job at the bank. And the kid is there with mom, no backpack, no book, no little toy to play with, nothing to keep them busy.
Yeah,
And
right.
so when you have nothing to do and you're bored out of your mind, you're going to appear to be a bad kid. But really, this isn't a bad kid. This is a kid whose mother's unprepared in
Mhm.
the moment to support him emotionally. So rather than hit him, slap him, beat him, or threaten him, how about we just pack a bag and think about what he's going to need or she's going to need when you're wherever you're going. And that's kind of what I did. I just packed a little Elmo backpack with Nia's, a little juice box, some string cheese, a little yogurt, her little things she had, the little books, the little teeny tiny quick books that she had, a couple of crayons, a little 99-cent notepad so she could scribble in that, something to keep her busy
Yeah,
while I was wherever I was, because she was always with me. I've been there too. So sometimes, that smile that I give, like I understand,
yeah,
but it's just a lack of preparation because
it is.
we're not thinking about what the kid needs in the moment.
Yeah,
So some of it goes back to just good parenting, you
yeah,
know?
that's a good observation because you was talking, I was thinking during the time where I've seen, a child acting up, and the mother was like, "Shh, be quiet, be quiet." And then he wanted her cell phone so he can play something on her cell phone, watch something cartoonish on YouTube, but she needed her phone.
Mhm.
And but he was like,
Right.
he's very now I to me, it looked like he might have been, probably in the spectrum or something like that, or maybe he had, ADHD or something, because it looked like he's about to act a fool, what I'm saying? But she gave him her phone, and then he immediately sat down and he went to listen to something, but she was like, turn the phone on, turn the phone down, but he wasn't trying to hear it, but, she didn't have a plan.
That's it.
She
And
didn't have
and
a
that was
plan.
the number one question my father posed that sticks with me. I'm 53. You have to have a plan for pretty much everything. And even taking the kid with you to the bank, the supermarket, whatever. And that is the new go-to with parents, shoving the iPad in the kid's face or the cell phone, and there's no little backpack, there's no little stuff in there that's kid friendly. It's just this electronic device where it's stunting our kids' language.
Yeah,
Kids need to hear real conversations from humans, not yeah, 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 from the videos.
yeah,
That's not growing a child's brain cells and their language skills and their vocabulary. So it's just we don't really understand how parenting, good, rich parenting can positively impact literacy. And so we definitely have to have a plan for our children for them to thrive, even with the most mundane task like going to the bank or the supermarket or wherever you're going. I never left home without a backpack for Nia. I just can't even imagine. But that's partially because when I was young, when we were going to go out on the weekends, there was a bag packed for us.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. You're cut from that cloth.